This is exercise 5.2a. We will cover the entire 5.2 in this video, starting with checking grammar in a document. So I'm looking at page number 137. I have already opened interfaces.docx and then saved it as a CO5 EO2 interface.docx. And once you do that, you'll notice that there are some words with red or not red, blue underlines. So that indicates that actually it could be blue, depending on setup, but on my computer is blue, and that basically means there's some questionable grammar issue going on. So let me just go ahead and close this one first. So again, so go to the review and I'm going to click on, let me just go Control Home. Okay, that's the natural flow from the top. So go ahead and click on spelling and grammar, and then you have a, instead of a spelling pane, now you have a grammar pane. And you have this first paragraph selected, actually a couple of paragraphs selected, and there's one word that is in question, in this case computers. Okay, why is there a possible error? So it is asking about is it plural or possessive, meaning that in the sentence here is as computers continue. So this word continues, is it supposed to be possessive, meaning that apostrophe s, it's possessive, or is it supposed to be plural? So that's the question here. So it should be plural, meaning that no apostrophe and just computers. Okay, so go ahead and click on change. Obviously you can just read about it here. You know, for example, here's an example. Instead of the regulation benefits many companies with apostrophe, that is possessive, which is incorrect, but it should be most likely. The regulation benefits many companies with plural. Okay, so that's an example. So feel free to read this, and it should make a good sense to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on change, and then go to the next one. All right, so let's read the sentence here. Keyboards, mice, and monitors are far too cumbersome. Is it T-O? No, it should be T-O-O. So go ahead and change it. By the way, you can click on this this speaker icons, and also more information about the words. So I'm going to go ahead and click on change while 2 is selected, and it goes to the next one, and it should be used to her whatever their PC. It's not about place, it's about possessive, so it has to be T-H-E-I-R, and I'm going to go ahead and click on change, and that's it. And once you do that, you have this spelling check, grammar check, complete message. Go ahead and click on OK. If you happen to start it, let's say, let me just make an error here intentionally, off, and PC apostrophe. All right, so if you had insertion point blinking somewhere in the middle, and you click the spell check here, or grammar check, okay, there's no, okay, so see, here's a good example. And that should be of course but I put off course, it didn't pick up. So spell check, grammar check, does not guarantee that everything is correct. Let's see. As computers, apostrophe, and then let's see. Let me just try to make up errors here. No, that didn't. That was not a clear error. How about systems? Would that be considered as error? No. See, that is a problem. So where was the error? Something about. So anyway, if you the point that I was going to make was that if you start somewhere in the middle with a spell check and grammar check, it will check all the way to the end of the document, and then it'll go to the top of the document and continue on. And that's how the flow goes. So at the end, it may ask you, do you want to start, do you want to check the document before the insertion point? You will say yes. Okay, so let me just undo that error. Okay, so as computers, one more. All right, so that's done, and that's 5.2a. And let's move on to 5.2b. It's on page number 139. We'll be covering about changing grammar settings. So how do you do that? Okay, go to Files, Options, Proofing. So we were here before, and we changed that. We made sure that ignore words in uppercase, check mark. Okay, so let's go down here. We have when correcting spelling and grammar in Word, let's go down here, writing style. So right now it checks only grammar, but you can always check style. Meaning, what do I mean by styles? Well, so there are some suggestive ideas, such as, try not to use passive voice. Instead, you use active voice, and that sort of kind of thing. That's a style. So let's go ahead and click on settings and see what it means. All right. So it says require grammar, capitalization. So these are all grammar. So first word of a sentence has to be capitalized, or the punctuations and question marks, and that's a grammar. So let's look at styles. What it means by style. So cliche, jargons. Is it okay? Do you want to check it? Or if you use a lot of what they call text messaging terminologies, it will be a style. So do you want to check it or not? Contractions, hyphenation, numbers, passive voice, and that sort of these are styles. So it will check not only grammar but comprehensive styles as well. All right, so let's go ahead and click on OK, and then you'll see something else. Let's see. That's interesting. So I click on it. There's something about, okay, there's some grammar. It looks obviously a grammar error on a wrist. Well, yeah, it is a grammar error, but Word did not pick it up before. So let's go ahead and click on, go to Review tab, and then click on Spelling and Grammar, and then you have this Spelling and Grammar dialog pane, and then here, number argument. So is it something to do here on article A? So strapped on a wrist. It should be wrist, singular, not plural. So there is a number argument disagreement. So it should be on a wrist. So select it and go ahead and change. Click on it. Okay. What's going on? And it says verb use. What verb use? Okay, let's go ahead and read this and see what's going on. Imagine a full PC system the size of a watch that weighs only a few ounces and could be strapped on a wrist. So I think that's fine. Let me double check with my textbook. Okay, when grammar checker selects the sentence again, read the information and then the ignore button. So why did it pick up? So verb use, I think it was a little bit concerned with here ounces here, that's a plural, but in correct grammar is a few ounces, that's okay. And that's why it was a little bit confused. So go ahead and click on ignore. And the next one would be when the computer speaks, only the wearer could hear it. When the computer speaks. So it is suggesting a comma, because that makes a little bit clearer sense. Yeah, sure, go ahead and click on change. Alright, so again, it's complete. Okay. And that's it. Alright, so let's move on to page number 141, exercise 5.2c. And this time we're going to be, let's talk about readability test. Let me see. How do you, normally the readability test is not selected. So let's go ahead and click on File and go to Options. Where's Options at the bottom? Proofing, and just go down here on the when correcting spelling and grammar in Word. Here, select Show Readability Statistics, and go ahead and click on OK, and click on Spelling and Grammar, and then you get the readability statistics. So it shows the very basics, such as how many words in a document, how many characters, and how many paragraphs, and how many sentences. So in terms of readability, it basically means how easy it is to read and understand it. So obviously, if we have a whole bunch of words and very large number of characters, no, what I mean is that if we have really words with long words, like a lot of characters, then it'll be harder to read. You know, like a 3-letter words compared to 10-letter words. Of course, the latter will be harder to read, so the readability level goes down because only highly educated people will be able to understand. So that's basically what the readability test is about. And based on how many words, how many characters, how many paragraphs, how many sentences. If we have many sentences in a paragraph, it's going to be harder. But if you have like a 2-3 sentences in a paragraph, it's going to be easier. All right, so here we have more statistics. Sentences per paragraph, 5.5 sentences per paragraph. And then word per sentences, well, 15 words per sentence, and about exactly 4.6 characters per word. So that's basically statistics. And then we have no passive sentence. That's good. More passive sentence means it's harder to understand. And then we have certain standards here. It says flash reading ease is 61.5%, and Fletch Kincaid grade level 8.4. So that basically means that about 61% of general readers. So I guess we can talk about somewhere between the first grade in elementary school and somebody who's really old. So we have a big range of reader age group, and about 61.5% of people should be able to understand this document. So is it high or is it low? Well, another way of looking at is this Fitch Kincaid grade level. So basically that means somebody in the 8th grade in the I guess that's a middle school or high school, now I think of it. So somebody with basic high school education should be able to understand it. That's the basic bottom line. So if somebody just reads and writes simple words and sentences, they will have a hard time. But somebody who are in high school, who finished the high school, then they should be able to understand it. So what's the big deal? Why do we care? Well, sometimes you want to check this, especially in a college. You want to write an essay that is not too easy, not too elementary, but not too hard. So you want to take a look at it and see what level of your writing is. And also you want to make sure that you have no passive voice sentences. As you go up higher in terms of specific knowledge base, for your job, for example, if you become an engineer, probably this level will go higher. So you could become like a grade level 12, 14 or higher. And this reading ease level could go down to like a 20% or even 10%. That basically means only 10% of general readers should be able to understand it. So that means a very specific knowledge, like a scientific reports or medical reports will be in that range. But also if you are writing books, like a children's book, yes, it should be this reading easiness should be high, and the grade level should be low. All right, so that's basically what the benefit of readability statistics is about. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise.